Okay, so we are a couple of days removed since learning that Donovan Mitchell will not be coming to the New York Knicks. There's been a ton of reaction from the beat writers and NBA insiders, but what about the fans? Whenever I want to check in on the pulse of Knicks fans, I got to catch up with my guy, CP, the Fanchise, founder and host of Knicks Fan TV. CP joins me now. CP, good to see you. How you doing, man?
Dex, always a pleasure to be on with you during this holiday weekend. Hope all is well with you.
All is well. We got to see if all is well in Knickland. Now, CP, I was out in Vegas a couple days ago when the news broke of Donovan Mitchell being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And look, I had to check in with you guys on Knicks Fans TV, see what you guys were talking about. And, you know, the mood was a little down, right? Watching you guys react to Mitchell not being traded to the Knicks. So it's been a few days. I got to ask you, what's the vibe of the fan base? And how do you now feel about the Knicks not getting the All-Star guard, Donovan Mitchell?
Well, Dexter, it was certainly a fiery past couple of days since the news was announced on Thursday that Donovan Mitchell was headed to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we took a poll amongst the fan base to see just how they felt. And it was overwhelmingly positive. 72% of the fans that we polled said they didn't mind that Donovan Mitchell was not being traded to the Knicks. And for this one reason, they felt like the price was going to be too steep to bring Donovan Mitchell home. In the last proposed offer that the Knicks made, even including R.J. Barrett in several proposals. But R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, several unprotected first-round picks. Many in the fan base thought that it was too steep of a price to bring Donovan Mitchell here because the Knicks would be unable to field a legitimate championship contender, whether it be now or into the future. And so a lot of the fan base were okay with it. Personally, I agree with the fans. I thought the price was too steep. But at the same time, Dex, it's hard not to be disappointed, right? We're always looking to bring in the shiny new toy, the star, the all-star, the superstar. But whether it's through bad decision-making by management or just sheer bad luck, the Knicks are just never in position to either develop that all-star superstar or acquire one via trade or free agency. So still frustrating, nevertheless.
Yeah, I can understand that frustration and disappointment from the Knicks fan in that regard. But here we are, no Spider Mitchell in New York. There's been a lot of talk from fans about what's next for the Knickerbockers. So, CP, what do you think should be the focus/direction of this team going forward?
Well, there's no question. I think it needs to be continuing along the development track, evaluating your young core. You already brought in Jalen Brunson, who's still a young guy. You have R.J. Barrett, who you signed to the 4-year extension. You have Mitchell Robinson. Those guys are young guys in your starting lineup. But I believe these three players really need a longer evaluation and extended playing time, and that is Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish, who the Knicks traded a first-round pick for, as well as Obi Toppin. And in each of those three guys, they give the Knicks a much-needed element to their game, whether it's shooting, in the case of Quentin Grimes, you have athleticism in the case of Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, and defensive awareness in the case of Grimes and Reddish as well. And I think those three guys really can give this team a boost in areas where they are deficient. The problem is that the Knicks invested a hefty salary in Evan Fournier, as well as Julius Randle. And those two guys who are keys in the Knicks starting lineup, unless they are moved before training camp, you have to factor that Tom Thibodeau is going to lean on those guys. And that's where the question lies is, as this team goes forward and should be evaluating more of their young talent, is this the right coach for this scenario? You know, Tom Thibodeau was brought in here. He wants to win games. He wants to remain competitive. He understands the pressure of having to win in New York. Will he bring in more of these younger guys, or will he continue to lean on some more of his veteran presence like a Julius Randle, like an Evan Fournier? And that's left to be seen.
Yeah, you bring up the question that I was going to ask about that with Tibbs. Is he going to play these guys? I think that's the key question that a lot of Knicks fans want to know as they head into this season. So, talking about heading into the season, with the roster as it is, CP, we're a few weeks away, as you know, from training camp. So what are your expectations for this team as currently constructed for the 2022-2023 season?
Yeah. So this team, as currently constructed, I feel like this team is capable of winning about 42 games, which is 5 games better than they were last year, which would put them in position to theoretically challenge for a play-in spot. I look at the acquisition of Jalen Brunson, a guy who should be able to help this team in terms of providing much-needed scoring punch, help facilitate. You know, this Knicks offense has continued to be woeful under the Tom Thibodeau regime, finishing 22nd last year, half-court offense offense not efficient at all, and that's mainly because Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett were inefficient scorers for the Knicks. So I'm hoping that Jalen Brunson can come in and really help the Knicks in those areas. R.J. Barrett, who I just spoke about, Knicks gave him a 4-year contract extension. There's a lot of pressure on RJ in year 4 to continue on the track. He finished the second half of last season very well, averaging 24 points per game after January. Can he continue on that track and really establish himself as, a borderline or all-star capable player? That's left to be seen. And then I'm looking at Julius Randle. Can Julius Randle turn things around? Last year was a really up and down season for him. He had a lot of incidents, one with the fans and incidents with the media. Julius Randle just really didn't seem like he was himself. But for this team to really maximize its potential, Julius Randle has to be back on his A game, and it's going to be interesting to see how he defers to Jalen Brunson, and can Jalen Brunson help make Julius Randle a better player. Knicks just have not had that player since Julius Randle has been here that can really help him from himself. And so that's going to be left to be seen. But those 3 guys will be relied upon for the Knicks to truly maximize their potential.
It's going to be interesting to see if they can maximize that potential. We're getting closer to the season, and who the next star, CP, that will be rumored to come to the New York Knicks and hopefully doesn't leave Knicks fans disappointed. That is CP, the Fanchise founder, host of Knicks Fans TV. Y'all know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button for your boy. CP, thanks for joining me, man.
Dax, always a pleasure. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Anytime, I'm here.